Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine. A question I got asked recently is, Phil, have you always been multi-format man? I suppose most people think yes, but no, I wasn't. I obviously grew up with records, vinyl records, vinyls. I don't mind, it's a change in time. If you want to call them vinyls, so be it. But anyway, to me, they're records. I grew up with records. Is that true? Yes, it is. It is true. The reason why I suddenly thought it is because I actually started off on pre-recorded cassettes, actually, even though I demonised them all the time. I started off buying cassettes because I didn't have a record player. And a lot of my friends had cassette players. They didn't record, just players. So we bought pre-recorded tapes. Terrible thing, really. No artwork, nothing. Anyway. And I was still at school and I slowly moved over to records. And that was the way it was. Right up through, I was late moving to CD because they were too expensive. I was probably late, was it late 80s? No, it wasn't. It was the early 90s, actually, when I started to buy my first CDs. And they were a lot of money. But I remember still records were becoming cheaper. And hold on to your hats, guys and girls, that I remember going to Virgin Records one night after work and they were selling off records for £2 each. £2. Vinyl records, £2. And there were people in the queue with armfuls. They were so heavy you could hardly pick them up because they were just getting rid of them. They just wanted to get rid of all the records and just stock CDs. CDs were about 15, 18 quid. You had to really think about buying one, whereas records were literally £4, £2. I just wanted them gone. And once I heard a CD, people talk about life has background sound like vinyl. Nobody wanted that. Nobody wanted that, mate, okay? Whoever keeps saying that, just stop it. To have the complete silence between a track without having to worry about, oh, God, I need to clean my record, it's got dust on it. Nothing. Silence, track starts, track ends, silence. It was a revelation. And CDs just captured my imagination. To such a degree, as the 90s progressed, I started to look at my record collection and kept thinking, it takes up a lot of space. It takes a lot of space. And we reached a point in the 1994 when we decided as a family to move to Cornwall from Birmingham, which is 20 years this year at the time of doing this video, 2024. And I looked at all my records, thought, I'm moving into, not sure if the house is small or whatever I can remember. And I thought, I can't take all these records. And I kid you not. And again, this is probably a horror story for many of you, but it's true. I took bagfuls of vinyl records to second-hand shops. I literally had to get going backwards, forwards to the car. There were so many bags of vinyl records, and I just went, some records for you. And a lot of the charity shops, had started to say, I don't want any more records. They were full of them. And my rationale to what became stay, keep or go was really scary when I look back at it now. It was literally, if I've got it on CD, it goes. If it's damaged in any way, the cover's creased, there's a tear, or any damage at all, it goes. That meant there was David Bowie, Blue Oyster Cult, Uriah Heep, tons of stuff went, Rolling Stones, tons of really rare albums just went to charity shops. Hundreds of them went. As I moved wholeheartedly over to the CD format. And this is the 90s. This is before box sets were invented, really. So this was just CDs. And when I moved to Cornwall, my CDs had pride of place on shelves and all the rest of it. My records went, first of all, under the stairs. And my record player was kind of in a rack, but I'd put it at the bottom of the rack, which meant I couldn't really lift the lid up properly because I never used it. But I wired it up. And then I needed more space because I was buying more CDs. So under the stairs became a prime CD kind of area. So all the records went into the garage. With the dust and the damp, they went into the garage. And that's where they stayed. And when I went to record fairs, I bought CDs, I bought rare prog stuff on CD. My whole thing was replacing all of my records with CDs, whatever it was. Oh, I haven't got that on CD. I haven't got that on CD. I need to upgrade that CD. That was my whole vision, all the way through the 90s, all the way through the noughties, all the way through the 2010s. About halfway through the 2010s, I started to think about when I went to... Well, what happened was my two sons, Dan and Lee, started to get into music, and ironically, they wanted to know about records. And they were talking about certain music. I thought, I've got that on vinyl. So I go into the garage, and I couldn't find it. I thought, I've got that. I don't understand it. So I was going through thinking it was Miss Fogg's. I didn't really look after how I indexed my records. It wasn't there because I gave it away. So one after the other, so I think, I can't believe it. Now I've got someone in my family, my sons, wanting to know more about it. I couldn't show it them because I'd given it away. So I started to go to record fairs, continuing to buy CDs, but started to, if I found a replacement, a second-hand copy, it wasn't too expensive, something I'd given away to a charity shop, I bought it on vinyl again. And then I bought another one on vinyl again. And then I go to charity shops and buy vinyl because I thought, that's good, I haven't got that on vinyl. I gave that away. I've got it on CD. And the other thing that started to happen was I started Now Spinning magazine. Now this was big news because I started Now Spinning magazine purely as Mr. CD man. And I was just really interested in communicating with finding people around the world who still bought music. A lot of my friends had stopped buying it, and I didn't, and couldn't talk to anyone about it anymore, about being excited to buying things. And a lot of the people that joined the group posted vinyl records. And it made me think, maybe I've got that on vinyl. And so I looked at my record player that I hadn't used and thought, maybe this is time to sort out my record player. It was an old Technics deck, but it was really old and it didn't work very well. So I upgraded to a new deck. And I bought a white record player because I thought, I just want something that looked good in photographs. I wasn't really that bothered, but I started to buy records a bit more. And my son started buying me new vinyl, which I thought was nice. And, a lot of the vinyl back at this point came with a CD as well. So it was fine. And I started to buy more records from record fairs. Still, I was probably 90% CD, 10% vinyl now, instead of being 100% CD. And this started to carry on. I'd see a record I hadn't got, I'd given away, bought another one. Then I was 80% CD, 20% vinyl. And my records are in the garage. And I remember going to get one because I'd seen somebody post one in the Facebook group for Now Spinning magazine. And I pulled it off the shelf and I opened up the gatefold sleeve. And I was horrified that there were little brown spots on the white part of the card. Called browning, isn't it? Basically, mould affecting the card. Literally 17 years in a garage without hardly being moved, and my records were not well. Luckily, a lot of them were in sleeves and stuff, but some weren't. And so from going from under the stairs to being given away to the garage, my records came into the house. And now they are all over the house. They're in every room in the house. As are my CDs. And I started to realise that how important they were. And I'm probably now in a position where I am 50% CD and 50% vinyl. So multi-format man. And I don't see one format as better than the other. They serve their purposes for box sets. See, I said it straight away, CD box set. I don't think vinyl box set, I think CD box set. Vinyl, though, I'm in love with it just as much as I was. And it has a space in my music collection as much as the CDs do. And so that's how I became multi-format man. But there'll be many people like me that in the 90s, what we call the great vinyl cull, where we gave away lots of records thinking we'll never need these things again. Luckily, it wasn't all of them, but a lot of us did it. Come on, be honest in the comments. Share your horror stories, what you did, what you gave away, what you sold for silly prices, and how much it's cost you to get some of them back. Let us know. But yeah, to that question, was I always a multi-format man? No, I've gone from being completely vinyl, cassette, vinyl, completely CD, to now being CD and vinyl. I haven't bought a cassette, okay? Just letting you know now. I have cassettes in the garage, but I haven't bought a new cassette, okay? So you no need to worry about that. But I will show some cassettes, I think. We'll do a special cassette corner, perhaps. Anyway, so that's a little bit of background on where I am and how I became multi-format man. It's a superpower. We've all got it. So, thank you. Music is the healing of the doctor. Please subscribe, share, comment, tell all your friends about Now Spinning Magazine, watch on YouTube, listen to the podcast, visit the website, become a patron or YouTube member, or buy me a coffee at Ko-fi if you want to support me a little bit further. And you'll see all my videos if you do that before anyone else. Take care, everyone. Thank you for being here. I shall see you all very, very soon.